Do things have you down? Are you just not feeling that well? Well, if that's about real life, I can't help you. But I know a guy. But if you're feeling down about your Guild Siege performance, that I can help you with. This is Guild Siege Glory, episode 12. Let's go. What? We're on? Oh, yes. So, welcome to episode 12 of Guild Siege Glory. Whoever this Markvard person or group is, I love their music. This is a really good tune. But we got important stuff to do. Let's go. In this episode, we're going to go over what I think are some of the important tips for getting yourself up to speed in Guild Siege Glory as quickly as possible. Now, if you're in one of the top 100 ranked guilds for Guild Siege, then you probably know most of this already. But if you're just one of those people that's in a random guild where you've got 10 to 15 to 20 people participating in Guild Siege, then these tips might help you out. So here we are back on my IAmSpeed account. And I'm farming essences for Awakened Skill Ups. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So this was our last Guild Siege, and we did not do so well. This Apocalypse 16 guild kind of swept the floor with everybody else. But, you know, they need to work on their spelling, because that's just depressing. We are probably not unlike a lot of other guilds out there where you've got a couple or three or four or five really strong players, and everyone else is just kind of starting out on their Guild Siege Glory path. And so here we've got Funny Wake, who's an awesome member of Here Gang, and just absolutely crushes it in Guild Siege. Duran is really good too. I'm here, I'm doing okay. I actually didn't do very well this last Guild Siege. Then we've got a bunch of other people that are contributing points. But we have, between 10 to 15 people that help out every siege. And I think we would have more if we could just have some of the newer members of the guild start following some of these tips. And so we're going to go over what I think are my top tips for how you can get yourself up to speed as quickly as possible. Now, this game has been around for 8 years. And you're going to be going into Guild Siege against some players that have been around a long time. And you need to realize what you can control and what you're just going to need time to work out. And I think these first few tips, there's very little RNG involved. It's stuff you can do. You can do it every day, and it will help bridge the gap from those 8-year players that have been farming forever and your account that's 50 days old. So let's get started. And the very first one, my wings are full, and you should never let your arena wings get full. So let's get back into the arena. Let's see if anyone's been hitting me. Yep. One of the first things you'll want to do is build a quick arena offense team that can take out teams quickly. And so I've got Alicia here for a 44% attack power lead, Galleon for an attack power boost, as well as a defense break, Cocky to kill everything, and then I was really lucky to pull Triana. But you don't need Nat 5s to do this. You just need a good team that kills stuff quickly. So we're going to go in, and my mantra for this entire game is I want to do everything I can on auto. So I let my arena team, I just make sure I'm going up against a team that is easy. Until it's Sunday night and you're doing arena rush, you don't need to worry about being impressive with your arena offense. You just want to kill things quickly and get the points. So that's all we're doing here. You want it to take more time to load the battle up than it actually does for you to take care of the enemy, because you just want to kill stuff quickly and get on to the next one. And so we had 3 people hitting me. I think I actually took out this team before. So they look kind of tanky. If I remember right, they're not fast. So we're just going to do the strip. Defense break them. We got Skullgirl broken. That's good. Yank. Yep. So only Perna and the pony are left to deal with. And then Alicia does pretty good damage. She's not amazingly ruined, but she can do the job. And then Cocky comes in. Oh, didn't quite kill. So there we go. Triana finishes her off. So I got some there. So anyway, we cut the wings down, so now our wings are generating, so we can get more later. But the main reason for jumping here was the buildings. Arena towers are an absolute must for Guild Siege. You want to get them as high as possible, as quick as possible. So always be doing your wings. And I only have my Sanctum of Energy and my energy production boost maxed. And I neglected my towers at the beginning of the game. I just thought I had other more important things to do, and there's really not much more important than this. So my speed tower is now 18. My crit damage tower is now level 15. So this goes up to 25%. I've got 18% of that now. So when I'm going up against players who have all their towers who are maxed, they have 25% crit damage. I now have 18. So it's not as big a gap as it could be if I had 0 level on this. And then the speed tower maxes out at 15%. I'm at 14. So I'm not at a huge disadvantage there. And I just got to keep working on them. This one I'm only at 6% HP. And you can see level 20 is 20%. So that's 14% gap. That's a pretty big gap. So that's a detriment to me. So I'm going to be working on all these, getting those up as quickly as possible. And there's no RNG to this other than when you're farming for arena wings. When you're just doing battles, there is RNG for that. You just look around for who you can beat. You kill them, and you move on to the next wing. So we're talking about Guild Siege Glory. The next thing you need to be thinking about is your guild tab here. And one of the most important things in here, which are often neglected, and I neglected them when I was in my first year and a half of the game, is your guild flags. So these provide additional extra stats for just guild content. So they don't apply to anywhere else in the game. But since we're concerned about Guild Siege, these are really important. So you can see I've got my guild content attack up to 12%. And every tick I get higher, the closer I am to those endgame players who all have all of their towers and flags maxed. So I'm missing 8% attack compared to some of my enemies. So, and they just made a bunch of changes to guild content that give you tons of points. So getting these flags up should be much easier now. I remember it used to take forever to get up to 1,120 points. I think we can make that in like half a week at the very most. So you should be able to get cranking on your guild flags and narrow that gap. And that requires no RNG other than what you're doing in guild content. And to be honest, these guild rival battles, you could probably fight those with monsters that don't even have runes on them, and you'd probably still win. Maybe you need to throw some crap runes on them, but this should not be forgotten. It's easy points. Every time you win, I think it's 30 points for just one sword on one tower. So then that's every time this is active, it's another 90 points. It's free points basically. Monster subjugation. I'm at rank 5 in the guild, but if you look at, we've been doing S pretty much for a while now. We've been doing S tier, and if you look here, S tier, that's 300 guild points a week. So definitely get in your shots in monster subjugation, and you're cruising along on points. And then siege battle, you can get a lot. I've been as high as 700 or 800 points per siege. So if you contribute well in 2 sieges a week, you're looking at 1,500 points. So it's pretty easy. Now we'll talk more about things getting hard once you get into G1 Siege. And then World Guild Battle is another one where you can get quite a few points. So if we look at rewards here, here gang, we won our last one. And so there's 100 more points. And then I think I had like 1 defense win out of all that. And I got another guild point. Woo! But, you know, there's another 100 right there. And we're actually going to come back to this at the end of the video and do some of those. And then Labyrinth. Labyrinth is currently inactive. Now, it would be nice if they could update Labyrinth a little bit. I think you only get 6 or 8 guild points per sword that you use, so it's not a lot. But every little bit helps, and you can get really nice runes, grinds, and gems from Labyrinth. So make sure you're doing all these things. All these things takes time, but you get those guild points, and you can just crank up those flags and rapidly close the gap between those endgame players and yourself. Everyone knows this game is about runes, except for those people that think that this game is about summoning, because it's not. I mean, it's for summoning for fun, for building your monster box. I even enjoy that. But this game is really about runes if you want to compete. And so we'll talk about runes a little bit more, but I still want to focus on more stuff you can do that doesn't require RNG on your part. And the next thing is, you need to think about what monsters you're building. And the most important thing is, what monsters can you build that contribute quickly? And those are typically 3 or 4 star monsters that you can skill up very quickly. So 3-star monsters, you just use 3-star copies of them. 4-star monsters that you can fuse skill ups in. So let's just go here real quick. We'll look at my defenses. Tractor, Lulu, and Windy. And this isn't meant to be a good defense. This is actually an offense. But you can see Tractor is fully skilled up. Lulu is not fully skilled up, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Windy, we got his 2nd and 3rd skill maxed, and he is missing some on the 1st, and we'll eventually get more pumpkins to do that. And he's a 2-aid, which helps a lot. He's already pretty good once he's 2-aid. If you look here, 10% damage doesn't matter very much, but this 15% recovery can mean the difference between one of your buddies dying or you healing them enough that they can take another hit. And then skill 2, another 25% recovery. And skill 3 is another 20% recovery. So all of those can mean the difference between one of your monsters dying and one of them surviving to hit back. And some other 2A monsters have really important skill ups. So this one's just damage. That's not that important. This one is another 20% recovery on the heal. And then this one is pretty nuts. More damage, increase the harmful effect rate, which takes it to 60%, and you're attacking 3 times with a 60% chance, it's pretty good. You're going to land that 3-turn defense break. And then the last one is cooldown time. So that's really valuable. Fuse skill ups for 4-star monsters, and 5 if you're really into it. I have not done that yet. I've been infusing skill ups for Tyron. Let's see. And now the Ifrits, you can buy 5 sets of Ifrit pieces every week. It's another thing to spend on. Because my Theomars, he only has 1 skill up. He'll be much more effective once he's fully skilled. So most of my monsters that are either fully skilled or I haven't started skilling them yet, I throw them in storage. I try to focus on monsters being out that I know I need to get some skill ups in. So my Nat 5 I'm currently working on for Devilmons is Tiana, because I put 5 Devilmons into her, and her second skill got maxed, which really doesn't matter all that much, unfortunately. And the first skill is just more damage, but really this is what I needed, was the cooldown time. So I will continue to skill her up with Devilmons until I can get those in, which will make her much more effective. I know that a lot of people don't really like fusing skill ups. They just don't do it. It takes a lot of time. You got to farm essences. Now, there's no one like that in the Here Gang Guild, but I know in other guilds there's people like that. So you just got to fuse skill ups if you want to get ahead. And so an important thing to do is to build monsters that you know that you can fuse skill ups for and make that a priority. But Triana has skill 3 passive that starts off reusable in 8 turns, which basically means she can only save 1 monster 1 time, and then you got to wait 7 more turns before this passive is available again. But if you fully skill it up like I have, then you're down to just 5 turns, which means after you use the skill, you only got 4 more to go. You get a violent proc in there, it's back up very quickly. I'm still waiting for... I'm actually in the middle of fusing Heart Magicians for Triana. She is the one I'm currently working on for fusions. I've got enough to do 5 more, so I'm really praying for 3 of them to go into this. Now, harmful effect rates on her skill 1 are helpful, and the damage is nice too, but you're really looking for skill 2 and skill 3 to be fully skilled up on Triana. I thought it might be helpful to show you how I go through getting fusion skill ups done as quickly as possible. I've got all 4 of the XP buildings built. I think they're very valuable for letting things that need just a little bit of experience level up quickly. So today I knew I was going to finish the Triana skill ups. So I went through and looked at who do I need to go to next. And the next one is I'm hoping that my 5 Heart Magicians will fully skill up Triana's second skill, and then I can move on to the next 4-star that really needs skill ups, and that's Tyron. So I've got 1 skill up for Tyron here, cooking, another one here, and another one here. And then this island and this island have an extra space for monsters, so I usually just throw in a Nat 5 that I think I'm eventually going to build. And they just kind of sit there and cook. And then I've got 1 more island with a Melia skill up, because my second Melia is not skilled up yet. So one of the things you can do while your XP farming is going on is you can go to the swgt.io website, and you can look at some of these defenses that you face often. And you can see Kamoon, Bastet, Odin. Well, then you can start looking at what are some of the counters and try to look for counters that contain all free-to-play or easy-to-obtain monsters. So Garo, Rauk, Vertiheel, all pretty easy to get. You just have to get lucky and get Garo, which doesn't take too long usually. And then everything else you can build yourself in max skill. And Garo and Verd, you can fuse skill ups. So this is a really good team to build early on. And as you're facing difficult teams, just use this website to figure out what are some of the best counters and what are some of the best free-to-play, easy-to-skill-up counters, and work on those. Okay, so you check out your defenses to see how they're doing, and then another thing you should do is, like, let's say I'm looking at this defense. One, you can test out your defenses to see if they're working well, but another thing you can do while you're still running that XP boost in the background and leveling things up, you can look at your offenses and go, okay, which one of these? Okay, so I've got this offense. Oh, I need skill ups on Tessarion. I need 2A skill ups for Lulu. Leo is fully skilled up, so that's good. So then you can look at Leo's runes. And maybe we shouldn't have done that because this doesn't look so good. Well, it could be worse, but I got a 4% crit rate. Leo's only at 85% crit rate. It'd be nice to have him at 100. Both his artifacts are maxed at least. But just look through until you get 10 really solid defenses, and I believe it's 15 offenses, and 15 really solid offenses. Those should be the 25 teams that you're working on. And sometimes you just got to wait for stuff. But when you're wondering about what to do next, look at your Guild Siege defenses, look at your Guild Siege offenses, see what needs grinds, see what needs to be leveled up, see if any gems would help, and definitely look for skill up opportunities. So, okay, so when I know I'm going to be doing something that's going to take more time, I want this to run as long as possible so it's efficient. So I know I'm going to be into the World Guild battles right now, so I'm putting all low-level monsters there, and that should definitely go for 10 runs. So now I've got a little bit of time where I can go here, help out my guild, and also try to get me some points. So that's it for this tips video. I hope you find some of these tips useful. Hopefully a couple of them were things you hadn't thought of before. And I hope it really helps you on your path to Guild Siege glory. Until the next episode, see ya.